WSTB, Clarksville. Hey everybody, welcome to today's session at St. Bethlehem's United Methodist Church with Pastor Richard Wesley and co-host Ashley Kettle. Enjoy.
Hi, and welcome to WSTB, Clarksville. I'm Richard Wesley, and I'm here in the St. Bethlehem United Methodist Church studio with our co-host Ashley Kettle. Hi, Ashley.
Hello.
It is good to see you again.
Good to see you.
It's always good to work with you. I want to go straight to what is going to take place this Sunday. This is Epiphany of the Lord Sunday. Now, right now, we're still in Christmas. The last day of Christmas is this Saturday. And then January the 6th, this Sunday, is the Epiphany of the Lord Sunday. This is the week that the wise guys show up. I love this story. I love this story. Because, we get these ideas from secular pictures of Christmas of what the wise guys were. They're actually Parthian astrologers. And there's not just three of them. These guys travel from Parthia to where Jesus is actually living, in the house that he's living in, no longer in the stable. That's an 18-month journey. We know from both how fast it takes a caravan of 1,000, because they travel no less than 1,000 soldiers, because this is they're pretty important to their country. They're spies, and they're enemies of the Roman Empire. So they've got 1,000 soldiers with them, and they're traveling. It takes 18 months. But we know it was somewhere around 2 years by the time they get there. We know this because Herod wants to kill Jesus, and he kills every child. Remember the story? 2 years of age and younger, so he makes sure that he gets Jesus. So we're approximately 2 years after the birth of Jesus, and the soldiers that travel with them are the most feared army in the area. I mean, more so than even Rome. Rome fears these guys. In fact, these soldiers, they're the special troops of the day. I mean, they really are. They are the only people in the ancient world that had learned, or mastered, I guess I should say, the skill of accuracy with the bow and arrow while charging on a horse. I mean, just think, they're on the horse, charging their enemy, pulling that bow and accurately killing the enemy soldiers while Rome can't do that. No other army can do that. These are terrorists. I mean, they strike fear. In fact, if you're familiar with the book of Revelation, Revelation images this warrior as one of the four horsemen. Yeah, the apocalypse. So this is the Sunday that we're going to look at the wise guys, is what I like to call them. Now, in our Exploring Life service, we're just coming into Monday of Holy Week. We're in Mark chapter 11, beginning with verse 12. And in the story, Jesus does two things that surprises us. First of all, he curses a fig tree. Now, it's interesting, and we're going to talk about the season of the figs and why Jesus curses them. But that story is actually a setup for the story that follows it, because Jesus does two things in Mark's Gospel on Monday of Holy Week. The second thing he does is he curses the temple. Okay, right after the cursing of the temple, you go and find out that the tree that he cursed has already withered. What's going to happen to the temple? It's going to. All right, so that's Exploring Life service at 11 o'clock this Sunday. Hey, you've got a top five for us, but after last week, after we were looking at the traditions I went and saw that you had put on the website New Year's traditions around the world.
Right, and I actually published it last
Yes, and it was actually published. I noticed that. I've been on. I thought, what am I going to find? You know, I don't know. Did she publish it? Did she not? But it was there.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, you did, and you were right. Of course, you told us that you wouldn't.
I didn't. I just said I would put it on. I didn't say I would
Oh, okay. I stand corrected. That's true. Okay.
Yeah.
But then last week you said not only are we going to put it on there, you're going to publish it so we can see it. So wonderful. I was looking at that though, and I loved the tradition in Mexico because you know we do that in some healing services. What Mexico does. Mexico, it is a tradition in Mexico to write down everything that's going wrong and then burn it. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. We do that in a lot of healing services. You know, we ask God, we're struggling with this, so let's write this as a prayer and let's burn it symbolically saying, okay, it's not mine anymore. I can't even, it's God's. It's God's. That was a pretty cool tradition. So what do you got for us this week?
All right, this week I was looking around on the internet and I came across, well, I go to umc.org quite a bit, and they have a lot of interesting stuff on there.
Pretty good website, isn't it?
They have, and I found a new thing that I've not seen. It's called Ask the UMC.
Ah,
And
okay,
they have
good.
questions and categories such as missions and ministry, the General Conference, theology and education, general church, and church history.
Yeah.
And so I found a few of the questions that I really liked, and I'm not going to give you the answers because you're going to have to go to our website, which I'm going to link each question to the question that I asked, so you don't have to go through and find them on the page.
Interesting.
But a few that piqued my interest, and I'm going to give you 5.
Okay.
How are bishops chosen in the United Methodist Church?
Okay.
Many of you may know that. Some of you may not.
Yeah.
Has the United Methodist Church always had an official symbol like the flame and the cross?
Ah, interesting. Okay.
How often has there been a special general conference called? Because
Now
you know
that's
there's
the one.
one coming
There's
up.
one coming up in February.
So how often
23rd.
has there been?
I'm sure there has been, but you know, I don't know the answer to that.
You
I'm
find
going to
out.
look at that one
Yes.
myself. Okay.
And why does the United Methodist hymnal include more than songs?
Ah, I know the answer to
You know
that
the
one.
answer to that
I
one. And
do.
number 5, what did John Wesley mean by moving on to perfection?
Yes, good question because that gets, yeah.
But
okay.
I will link
Nice.
each of those questions to
Wow.
that particular question so that
Wow.
you can go right to the question.
Wow.
On our website on stbumc.com.
Okay.
Yes.
You know, I have frequently in worship services as well as Bible studies talked about why our hymnal has all the things in it.
So,
And John Wesley's expectation of people called Methodists' relationship to him. That's great. Okay. All right.
and there's a lot more interesting questions on there. So
Yeah.
check some of those out.
Okay. And when are we going to learn what's up next week? Is that just going to next week we'll find out?
You'll find out.
All right. Be sure you stay tuned next week because Ashley always comes up with something to pique our interest.
You'll find out about the time I
I'll
do.
find out about the time you do. All right. All right. Well, that concludes today's episode of WSTB Clarksville. We're glad you took time out of your busy schedule and watched this episode. Be sure to check in next week and we find out some more interesting tidbits from Ashley. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, say goodbye, Ashley.
Goodbye, Ashley.
Goodbye, Ashley. We'll see you next week. Yeah, that's Wesley.
There's a couple of John Wesley questions on there. I had a hard time choosing between.
I bet.
Like his view of the original sin.
Yes.